But when it comes to relationships, um, as a man, as a straight man, one of the most important things you will ever do is pick a wife. So you have to make sure you pick the right one. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to pick no crazy bitch that thinks you're some secret agent sent that's trying to date her just so you can tell your supervisors at work, things about her. No, you don't want. That was way too specific, huh? Yeah, yeah. That's why she's my ex. But you don't want to deal with some crazy chick. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get married to some chick that's just that just wants to use you and then abuse you. You feel me? You don't want to marry the wrong girl. You gotta pick the right girl to marry. That being said, let's let me show you. Cheating wife shoots husband 6 times. He survives, gets out of the hospital, and kills her. Like, bro, what? This sounds like it's gonna be a crazy story. I want to check it out. I wanted you to enjoy it with me. This is by the YouTube channel Crime Case Files. So as always, links to the channel, links to the video, both in the description below. Be sure to check them out. Let's get it.
On March 15th, 2022, at approximately 8:47 p.m., the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department received a 911 call from Naima Hinton, reporting that her husband had been shot at their residence in the Peabody-Darst-Webby neighborhood of St. Louis, Missouri. The dispatcher noted that Hinton sounded distressed but coherent as she provided their address at 1423 South 14.
Don't give out the address like that. Why did they put the whole address in there? But anyway, she looks like normal. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you can't tell if a bitch is crazy just off her looks alone. You gotta vet these women, bro. You gotta see what's up with in their brain. You know what I'm saying? Before you commit to them like that, bro. Like, she looks normal, but she cheated on him and shot him 6 times. Yo.
Street. Officers Raymond Decker and Mariella Washington arrived at the scene within 7 minutes to find 27-year-old Jelani Drayton collapsed in the entryway of the apartment.
In the entryway?
Drayton was bleeding profusely from multiple gunshot wounds, including a critical injury to the head. He was unconscious but still breathing.
Okay.
Officer Washington immediately called for emergency medical services while Officer Decker secured the scene.
Yo, this guy definitely had, his angels, his spirit guides, his spirit team, you know what I'm saying? And, like, watching over his back, bro. Like, holy shit. Like, he was unconscious but still breathing after being shot 6 times?
During the initial interview at the scene, Naima Hinton, 26, told officers she had been watching a reality television program in the living room when she heard Jelani enter the apartment at approximately 8:40 p.m. According to her statement, this was immediately followed by the sound of multiple gunshots. Hinton claimed she dropped to the floor and hid behind the couch, fearful that the shooter might still be present. She stated that she waited approximately 3 to 4 minutes before emerging to find her husband wounded in the entryway.
God damn, 3 to 4 minutes.
She then called 911 from her cell phone. Paramedics from the St. Louis Fire Department arrived at 9:02 p.m. and found Drayton with 6 distinct gunshot wounds, 2 to the chest, 1 to the abdomen, 2 to the left arm, and 1 to the right temple. The emergency medical team stabilized him at the scene before transporting him to Barnes Jewish Hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery.
Yeah, so I'm saying, what up,
The
MCM?
trauma
How you
surgeon,
doing?
Dr. Vivian Cho, later reported that despite the severity of his injuries, particularly the head wound, Drayton had survived the initial surgery but remained in critical condition.
Damn.
Detective Keyshawn Germain arrived at the scene at 9:25 p.m. and took charge of the investigation.
Okay.
His preliminary examination of the apartment revealed no signs of forced entry at either the front door or windows. The apartment appeared relatively orderly, with no indication of a struggle or ransacking. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments
So as he walked into the house, and his own girl just straight up shot him as soon as he walked in. And then the story that she told is so dumb. She's like, my husband opened the door, and next thing I know, I hear gunshots. The cops are gonna be able to tell where the gunshots came, what direction the gunshots came from, by looking at the body. They're gonna tell he was shot from the front or in the front. Yeah, she shot him 6 times, bro. 6 times. And so the cops are gonna be able to tell where the gunshots came from. And now they're saying that there was no signs of forced entry in like any of the windows or anything in the house. Like, bruh.
Where you're watching from, we'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Detective Germain directed the forensic team to collect blood samples from the entryway, 6 9mm shell casings found within a 5-foot radius of where Drayton had fallen, and to dust for fingerprints on the door handle and surrounding surfaces. During a more extensive interview with Detective Germain, Naima Hinton reported that her husband's wallet, which typically contained between $50 to $100 in cash, was missing.
You're probably right. She probably wanted his insurance money, like life insurance. She probably put it like, no, he would have to know. Like, if she put life insurance policy on him, she would have to have his permission. Because I used to sell life insurance. So she would have to have his permission. He would have to say yes. Or agree to it somehow, some way. Or at least that's how we worked. But so he would know, and she just wanted the life insurance money, bro. Yo, that's okay. If your partner, after you get married, if your partner comes up to you and wants and says, hey, let's put a life insurance policy on you or on each other, then it's like, all right, yeah, we can put life insurance policies on us. But you gotta watch your partner after that, because you might open your door and get shot 6 times as soon as you walk in. That's some, you know what I'm saying? That's scary, bro. It's like, hold up, bro. Why you want to put a life insurance policy on me? What you planning? You know what I'm saying?
She suggested this indicated a robbery, but could not identify any other items that appeared to be stolen. No firearm was recovered at the scene, supporting the likelihood that the shooter had taken the weapon upon departure.
Where'd she put the gun?
The trajectory of the bullets, based on preliminary analysis by forensic technician Rafael Moreno, suggested the shooter had been standing approximately 4 feet from Drayton when firing.
In front of him.
Officers
and in front.
canvassed the neighborhood, interviewing residents in adjacent apartments and nearby buildings, but no witnesses reported seeing anyone suspicious entering or leaving the building around the time of the shooting. Several neighbors confirmed hearing what they believed to be gunshots, but had not looked outside, a response that officers noted was not uncommon in areas where gunfire might be heard with some regularity. Background information gathered by Detective Germain revealed that Jelani Drayton had been employed as a warehouse worker at Gateway Distribution Center for the past 9 months, earning approximately $32,000 annually.
Okay.
Naima Hinton worked as a part-time licensed practical nurse at Mercy Hospital, bringing in roughly $28,000 per year. The couple had been married for 1.5 years after dating for 6 months. They had met through mutual friends at a barbecue in Forest Park during summer 2020. Naima disclosed to Detective Germain that they had been experiencing financial difficulties since Jelani's layoff from his previous position as a sales manager at Meridian Office Supplies in early 2022.
Yeah, so they were also having financial troubles with money. So she may have actually really wanted the life insurance policy. We may have jokingly been right. Like, they were having financial troubles. She was trying to cash out.
A casualty of downsizing during the COVID-19 pandemic. His current warehouse position paid significantly less than his former salary of $58,000. This financial strain had reportedly caused tension in their marriage, though Hinton denied any serious conflicts. During the interview, Hinton also mentioned that Jelani had taken out a $250,000 life insurance policy in January 2022.
See? Holy shit. $250,000 life insurance policy. Yo.
At her urging,
She's
with
trying to
Naima
cash
listed
out.
as the sole beneficiary. She explained this decision as responsible financial planning, particularly given their precarious economic situation. On March 15, 2022, a shooting that would soon captivate the attention of St. Louis law enforcement occurred, leaving Jelani Drayton fighting for his life. To understand the full scope of the investigation, one must first examine the relationship between Jelani and his wife, Naima Hinton Drayton. In January 2022, Jelani lost his position as a sales manager at Riverton Distributors, a victim of widespread corporate downsizing. Financial records would later show that this job loss created immediate strain on the household. After losing his primary employment, Jelani, 34, took on a series of temporary positions before eventually securing more stable work at the Eastern Gateway Distribution Center, though at
It sounds like he was a good guy too, because as soon as he got fired, he just went to look for more work. He didn't like sit around home and like just complain. You know what I'm saying? He didn't ask her to get a job or pick up, you know what I'm saying, pick up more hours or whatever. He immediately went out and got another and started getting temporary work and got other jobs. Mans was doing great by her. So why would she want to kill him? Like, besides the life insurance policy, like, she had to have hated him, right? She was 4 feet from him. She was 4 feet from him when she shot him as soon as he opened that door. So, but why? Like, was she like blaming him for their money troubles? And then it just got to her. Like, she eventually just, you know, it bubbled over and decided, you know, she was going to take him out and get the life insurance policy. Like, I don't understand the reason for going after him. He was putting in work.
significantly reduced
Sounds like he
pay
was a good
compared
guy.
to his previous salary. Meanwhile, Naima, 31, continued her part-time nursing position at Barnes Jewish Hospital, working 3 12-hour shifts per week in the intensive care unit.
Okay, so she has a job. It's a part-time job, but she could actually go full-time and help out.
Detective Keyshawn Germain of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department's Violent Crimes Unit was assigned to lead the investigation following the shooting. His first steps involved piecing together the couple's history and financial situation. Bank statements revealed mounting credit card debt, with 3 missed mortgage payments on their modest home in the Benton Park West neighborhood. The forensic analysis conducted by the department's ballistics team confirmed that Jelani had been struck by 6 9mm bullets fired at close range from what was later identified as a Glock 19 handgun.
God
One
damn.
bullet had entered his head near the left temple, while 5 others were clustered in his torso. The proximity of the shooter suggested either an ambush or that Jelani had known his attacker. Jelani's brother, Darnell Drayton, provided investigators with valuable background information. According to Darnell, the couple had been experiencing frequent arguments, primarily regarding their financial difficulties. Notably, Darnell mentioned that Naima had been particularly insistent about taking out a life insurance policy on Jelani. Records confirmed that a $250,000 policy had been finalized in January 2022, just 2 months before the shooting, with Naima listed as the sole beneficiary.
Yep, that insurance
Interviews
money.
with neighbors painted contrasting pictures of the couple. Calvin Rogers, who lived next door, described Jelani as the quiet, hard-working guy who seemed to be under a lot of pressure lately. Conversely, Naima
Because of the money troubles. And she was probably yelling at him all the time about it.
was characterized by several neighbors as outgoing but increasingly detached in recent months. Marissa Patterson, who lived across the street, reported seeing Naima leaving the house at unusual hours, often dressed formally as if going somewhere special. Detective Germain also questioned Naima's co-worker, Terrell Lyman, a registered nurse who had worked alongside her for 3 years. Lyman recalled several instances where Naima had complained about Jelani's inability to maintain financial stability. She would sometimes say things like, "I didn't sign up for this," or "this isn't what I expected when we got married," Lyman stated. However, he could provide no specific information regarding the day of the shooting. The physical evidence at the scene included blood spatter patterns in the entryway of the couple's home and Naima's fingerprints on a side table near where Jelani had fallen.
Mm.
When questioned about these prints, Naima explained that she regularly used that table to place her keys and purse when entering the home, an explanation that aligned with typical household patterns. As the investigation progressed, Jelani's medical condition remained critical. He had been placed in a medically induced coma at Mercy Hospital, St. Louis, with doctors unable to provide a definitive prognosis.
At least
The
he was
uncertainty
alive.
of his survival shifted some focus of the investigation toward gathering evidence while waiting to see if Jelani would recover consciousness and potentially identify his attacker.
Bet.
By March 25, 2022, the investigation into the shooting of Jelani Drayton in St. Louis had reached a critical impasse. Detective Keyshawn Germain of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department found himself scrutinizing inconsistencies in Naima Hinton's account of the events of February 17. Jelani remained in a comatose state at Barnes Jewish Hospital, unable to provide investigators with his version of what transpired that evening. Several elements of Naima's testimony raised questions among investigators. She claimed to have hidden behind their living room couch during the attack, yet forensic teams found no fingerprints, fibers, or other evidence indicating her presence there. Additionally, officers who interviewed Naima in the hours following the shooting noted her unusually composed demeanor, which contrasted sharply with the expected psychological response to witnessing a violent attack on a partner.
Yeah, so she wasn't even like sad about it. She was just calm. She wasn't sad that her man's it was, you know, saying dead. She wasn't even sad about it. She didn't care. And it's because she's the one that did it. But like imagine, bro, like she was 4 feet from him, man. And she just opened fire as soon as he opened the door. Like, that's gotta be personal. You know what I'm saying? And she's supposed to be in love with him? Like, they were married? That's gotta be personal, man. Like, holy, like, how? I mean, bruh, anyway.
On March 30th, 2022, Detective Germain conducted an interview with Jelani's mother, Tamaria Fulton, at her residence in University City. During this conversation, Tamaria revealed that Naima had approached her about potentially removing Jelani from life support just 3 days after his admission to the hospital, citing prohibitive medical costs and poor prognosis.
What the fuck?
Tamaria strongly opposed this suggestion, insisting that her son deserved every chance at recovery. Hospital staff later confirmed to investigators that despite public displays of concern, Naima visited Jelani infrequently.
She tried to take him off life support. She was like, "Oh shit, he's still alive. I gotta take him. I gotta finish the job." And she was trying to take him off life support, bro. What the fuck? It's a good thing that his mom was like, nah, because he was able to. Obviously, he was able to wake up and do what he did. But holy shit.
Between February 18th and April 1st, 2022, she appeared at the hospital only 4 times, with each visit lasting less than 30 minutes. Financial records obtained through subpoena revealed that on April 5th, 2022, Naima received a partial payout of $50,000 from Jelani's life insurance policy, which listed her as the primary beneficiary. The insurance company approved this partial distribution, citing Jelani's critical condition. Within 2 weeks, Naima used these funds to eliminate outstanding credit card debt and automobile loans. Detective Germain brought Terrell Lyman in for additional questioning on April 12, 2022. A deeper examination of phone records uncovered a series of text messages between Terrell and Naima dating back to January 2022. These communications contained flirtatious exchanges and references to meeting in private, suggesting an extramarital relationship. When confronted with this evidence, Terrell acknowledged a friendship with Naima but denied any romantic involvement or knowledge of the shooting. Multiple canvases of the neighborhood produced no witnesses who observed anyone fleeing the scene on February 17th. Additionally, Jelani's wallet, which Naima claimed was stolen during the robbery, was never recovered from any pawnshops, resale venues, or discarded in the surrounding areas. By June 2022, with Jelani still unconscious and leads exhausted, the investigation lost momentum. Naima sold their home in July 2022 for $285,000 and relocated to Kailua, Oahu, Hawaii, with an unidentified male companion.
Bro, she okay. So she didn't just do it for the money. She also did it so that she could leave him and go with someone else. Why didn't she just get a divorce instead? Why didn't she just do that? Why she have to kill? Like, why she have to, you know what I'm saying, pop him 6 times as soon as he walked into the door? You feel me, bruh?
When questioned about this move, she stated she needed a fresh start away from painful memories. The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department officially classified the case as inactive on August 15, 2022, redirecting resources to more recent violent crimes.
Also, if she was mad that they were having money problems, why go to one of the most expensive states in the country?
On December 12, 2022, medical staff at Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri, documented an unexpected development in the case of Jelani Drayton. The 37-year-old construction worker regained consciousness after spending nearly 9 months in a coma following the March 15, 2022 shooting that left him with severe head and torso injuries. Dr. Marcus Winslow, the neurologist overseeing Drayton's care, had previously informed the family that recovery chances were below 15% given the extensive brain trauma. Tamaria Fulton, Drayton's 58-year-old mother, had maintained a consistent presence at the hospital since the incident. Hospital records indicate she visited her son 6 days per week, often bringing personal items and speaking to him despite his unresponsive state.
6 days a week.
Nursing staff noted that Fulton frequently...
Yo, his mom's is... That's mom, bro. She cared. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. I mean, my mom did the same thing. So I like that shit.
Played recordings of Drayton's favorite jazz albums during these visits.
Nice.
Following his emergence from the coma, Drayton began an intensive rehabilitation program under the supervision of Dr. Eleanor Reed, a specialist in traumatic brain injury recovery.
So he woke up?
Medical records show Drayton initially struggled with basic motor functions and experienced significant speech impairment. By March 2023, after
Well, yeah, he was shot in the head. Shit. And his 5 times in his torso.
3 months of daily physical and speech therapy, he had regained partial mobility and could communicate with short sentences, though he continued to exhibit right-side weakness and occasional aphasia. During this recorded interview, Drayton, still visibly weakened and using a walker, provided his first account of the shooting. He stated that his wife, Naima Hinton, 34, was the person who shot him as he entered their home on Page Avenue after returning from his night shift.
Let him know.
Drayton described hearing Hinton call his name before seeing her holding a handgun. According to his statement, the first bullet struck his head, followed by 5 more shots to his torso as he collapsed to the floor. I remember her standing over me, Drayton told Detective Germain in the interview transcript. She watched me bleed for maybe 10 minutes before calling 911.
Holy shit.
When questioned,
she was waiting for him to bleed out. And she told the cops that she hid behind the couch 3 to 4 minutes before she called them. She waited 10 minutes. She was waiting for this dude to bleed out, and she was making sure he was dead. Luckily, this dude was just in like unconscious. Just in a coma. But yo, she waited 10. Oh, god damn, bro. How personal is that? How cold-blooded for that? Like, she's supposed to be his wife. Like they're supposed to be in love. Like they're supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? For a wife to want her man dead and to be okay with doing it herself. That's just straight evil, bro. That's just straight evil, man. Holy shit. Hell nah. And she looks innocent too. How are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know before we marry him? Yo.
About why he hadn't shared this information with authorities earlier, Drayton explained that he feared no one would believe him given his wife's respected position as a procurement specialist at Mercy Hospital. He had disclosed the information only to his mother upon regaining sufficient speech capabilities. Fulton then informed him that Hinton had sold their home for $285,000 in July 2022 and relocated to Hawaii with her fitness instructor, Terrell Lyman, 29. Detective Germain proceeded to re-examine the physical evidence collected from the scene. A significant development emerged when investigators examined Drayton's hospital records more closely. On May 15, 2022, when Drayton was still comatose, a security camera in his hospital room captured Hinton visiting alone at approximately 2:17 a.m.
Yo. Don't tell me she tried to pull his cord. Don't tell me she tried to pull his cord. And take him off life support. Then when he starts to flatline, she was probably going to plug it back in. Don't tell me she tried to do that shit, bro. His mom was visiting 6 days a week. So she was probably just waiting for his mom to not be there.
The footage shows her checking the hallway before approaching Drayton's ventilator and disconnecting it for approximately 47 seconds. Nurse Kanaya Tavon entered the room during a routine check, immediately reconnected the device, and documented the incident as a possible equipment malfunction in the medical log.
What the fuck? Yo! She tried to kill him again.
Insurance documents obtained through subpoena revealed that Hinton had received a $50,000 preliminary payment from Drayton's life insurance policy, with the remaining $450,000 contingent upon his death. The policy, purchased 6 months before the shooting, listed Hinton as the sole beneficiary.
She was trying to get the rest of the money. She said this 200K or this 250 whatever. She said that's not enough, or whatever she got. She said it's not enough. She wanted the rest.
Drayton, according to his mother's later statement to authorities, became increasingly fixated on what he perceived as a betrayal by his wife. While appearing to focus on his rehabilitation to family members, he secretly made arrangements to travel to Hawaii. Cell phone records show he purchased a one-way ticket to Honolulu on June 12, 2024, using a prepaid credit card.
He coming for that ass.
He informed his physical therapist he would be taking a break from rehabilitation sessions. On June 20, 2024, Honolulu Police Department officers responded to a call from a neighbor reporting a disturbance at Hinton's apartment on Kalakaua Avenue. They discovered Hinton's body in her living room. The medical examiner's report documented the cause of death as manual strangulation, with defensive wounds on her hands and arms.
Yo, he strangled. That's even more personal, bro. But like, I get why he did it, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came back and said, "No mercy. Like, you tried to, take me out. How dare you?" Like, he was pissed, bro. And he had every right to be. But yo, that's whew. And I guarantee you, he was looking. He did it from in front. Like, he was looking. He's probably looking in her eyes when she like passed, bro. That's how personal that shit was. Whew.
DNA analysis identified skin cells under Hinton's fingernails matching Drayton's genetic profile. Surveillance footage from Hinton's apartment building captured a man matching Drayton's description entering the building at 8:42 p.m. and leaving at 9:27 p.m. on the night of her death. Honolulu authorities issued an arrest warrant for Drayton, but he had vanished, with no record of departure from the island through commercial transportation.
Wait, how did he get out there?
The parallel investigations into Jelani Drayton's shooting and Naima Hinton's murder converged in late 2024, bringing closure to a case that had spanned more than 2 years across multiple jurisdictions. What began as an apparent robbery in St. Louis ultimately connected to a homicide in Honolulu through a web of evidence that investigators painstakingly assembled. The breakthrough came in September 2024 when a severe thunderstorm dislodged crucial evidence. A Glock 9mm handgun was recovered from a neighbor's roof near the original crime scene. Forensic analysis confirmed it was the weapon used in Jelani's shooting, with 6 bullets matching those removed from his body during surgery. More significantly, the gun bore Naima Hinton's fingerprints. Further investigation revealed that Terrell Lyman, an associate of Naima's with a minor criminal record, had illegally purchased the firearm through a straw buyer arrangement at a gun show in Illinois in January 2022. When confronted with the evidence, Lyman provided a sworn statement confirming that he had given the weapon to Naima several weeks before the shooting as part of their plan to stage a robbery and file a fraudulent insurance claim. She needed money badly, Lyman stated in his official testimony. The plan was never supposed to involve shooting anyone, especially not Jelani. She told me afterward that things went wrong when he fought back.
What the fuck?
Hospital records from Barnes Jewish Hospital, where Jelani had spent 3 months recovering from his injuries, contained another disturbing piece of evidence. Nurse Kanaya Tavon had documented an unusual incident in May 2022 when she discovered Naima attempting to disconnect Jelani's ventilator during a late-night visit. Hospital security had escorted Naima from the premises, but no charges were filed at that time as Jelani remained unconscious and unable to provide testimony. Meanwhile in Honolulu, Detective Terrell Jakes led the investigation into Naima Hinton's June 19, 2024 strangulation death at the Ala Moana Hotel. The autopsy conducted by Dr. Michelle Kamahele revealed defensive wounds on Naima's hands and arms, with DNA samples collected from beneath her fingernails matching Jelani Drayton. Flight records confirmed that Jelani had arrived in Oahu on June 18, 2024, and departed on June 21, 2024. Hotel security footage showed Jelani entering Naima's room at 9:47 p.m. on June 19th and leaving at approximately 10:35 p.m. Naima's body was discovered the following morning by housekeeping staff after she failed to check out as scheduled. The Honolulu Police Department coordinated with St. Louis authorities, leading to Jelani's arrest in Missouri on September 10, 2024.
Now he's in jail.
Prosecutors charged Jelani with second-degree murder while simultaneously closing the investigation into his own shooting by posthumously implicating Naima. The case went to trial on November 15, 2024, at the St. Louis Circuit Court with Judge Raymond Ortiz presiding. Prosecutor Latrice Fulton presented the state's case, arguing that Jelani had traveled to Hawaii with the premeditated intent to kill Naima as revenge for his shooting and near-death experience. This was a calculated act of vengeance, Fulton told the jury during opening statements. Mr. Drayton tracked Ms. Hinton to Hawaii and confronted her in her hotel room with the express purpose of taking her life. Defense counsel Zuri Drayton, no relation to the defendant, constructed a different narrative. What happened in that hotel room was not murder, but self-defense, she countered. The defense presented evidence of defensive bruising on Jelani's forearms and introduced a critical piece of evidence overlooked in the initial investigation.
How would it be self-defense? Like, she tried to kill him and he went all the way over there. Why would he go over there if not to harm her? And how could it be self-defense? Like, they know what's up, bruh. I mean, like, I don't think that's a good argument at all. It was self-defense, Your Honor. Nigga, you went over there to kill her. Why would you travel from where you are and travel all the way to Hawaii to try, you know what I'm saying? Why would you travel all the way to Hawaii to see her and then claim self-defense? Nah, bro.
A kitchen knife found near Naima's body bearing her fingerprints. Jelani testified in his own defense, stating, "I went there to confront her, to get answers about why she shot me.
Okay.
I needed to hear it from her. When I told her I knew what she had done, she grabbed a knife from her luggage and came at me. We struggled, and I was just trying to stop her from stabbing me." The defense established that Jelani had no prior criminal record and had been employed as an accounting specialist at Meridian Financial Services before the shooting left him partially disabled. Character witnesses testified to his nonviolent nature and community involvement. After 7 days of testimony and a week of deliberation, on December 20, 2024, the jury returned a verdict of not guilty, accepting the self-defense claim. Naima Hinton faced no trial for her role in Jelani's shooting due to her death, though the St. Louis District Attorney's Office formally closed the case by listing her as the perpetrator. "Justice took too long," she said in a brief statement outside the courthouse. "My son nearly died, then had to fight to prove his innocence. The system failed us multiple times."
That's interesting. I don't know. Did he actually go there just to confront her and get answers, or did he? Is that the excuse he used? And then like after taking her out, he set up the scene to make it look like it was self-defense. Like he grabbed the knife, put her fingerprints on it. Made sure his fingerprints weren't on it. So like maybe it was something like that, bro. I don't know. And of course he has defensive wounds on the front of him because he stared her down while he strangled her. Like, damn. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Did he go up there to like just confront her? Or did he go up there with the intention to offer? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, links to the video and in the channel we just watched will both be in the description below. So be sure to check out, what was that, Crime Case? I think that's what it was. Anyway, links will be in the description below. Be sure to check it out. And as always, don't forget to do those 3 things I like to ask you to do. And like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. And you know what it is after that? In case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace. Much love to you.